It's Ashafere. Welcome to another episode of the Changeroom, where we bring you all the best sports commentary locally and internationally. It's unmatched, unrivaled, and unplayable. Yes, I said it. Certified, delivered. My name is Sbu Zulu, and the brother that I love to hate and hate to love, Tibs Dhlomo. Sorry. Dhlomo, how's it, bro?
I'm good, man. And yourself?
Man, why am I getting things wrong already?
No, we're going to be strong because we'll be good today. So it'll be quick. It'll be easy.
Another week.
So what we'll be discussing this week will be quick, but it'll be the DStv Premiership, the Six Nations, the EPL, and the momentum Proteas building an unassailable 3-1 victory in India.
Bunch of legends.
So we're going to be strong today.
Definitely.
So let's start local rugby.
Let's go.
The kickoff. Our pre-season rugby games. Like, I'm going to go through some fixtures for you.
Yeah.
So the Bulls defeated the Pumas 48-31. The Stormers beat the Griquas 38-32. The Lions defeated the mighty Elephant.
You can do that.
Wait, sorry. I just had to
put some respect.
I'll put some respect on the Elephants, but they lost 54-24. The reason why I say those fixtures is because the games are boring. Straight up. Like, the teams that it was expected to win, with the higher budgets, the better players, they just dominated.
Quite expected. However, I think because, like, you mentioned the budget stuff. I mean, for the fact that they are able to put numbers on the board, I think that makes it quite interesting.
Tried.
They tried.
It's that great. Appreciation trophy,
Definitely.
like the we tried.
Yeah. We're going to be giving them every week.
Yeah,
but I wonder, it will be very interesting to see how they play against each other.
Actually, that's what you must do.
Yeah.
That's so then we can see who's the best of the rest.
Basically.
But the best, the fixture.
Yeah.
The 11 try thriller. The Sharks, 6 tries. Cheetahs, 5 tries. Yet somehow, the Sharks still lost. 38-39.
Yeah.
It was a game, man. Like, if we can say anything, you must watch that game. End-to-end rugby, proper try scoring, people trying to score. For me, I'm happy-ish. Because I said this last week about my boy Ruan Pienaar. Ruan Pienaar for the Cheetahs carried that game. He was immense because the Cheetahs in the first half, they were like 28-12 up. And it was all the tries were either scored or set up. The assist king, Ruan Pienaar. The way he dictated the game, I'm just saying, Springbok call up to the boy. But not only Ruan Pienaar, Spechman still was there, our boy. And Francois Steyn still has his kicking boots.
Definitely.
He still has his kicking boots.
Yeah, you know how I feel about that game? I think the one thing about that match particularly is the fact it was around the fact that the Cheetahs, their game plan is around the fact that, look, run, if that does not work, go for goal. And they are very decisive when it comes to that. They are very quick to do that. I think they had about 8 attempts on goal, attempts only, of course. And that on its own tells you a lot. I mean, for a team to lose, to win with scoring one less try than the other one clearly states that, they came there to say, look, they got in. I mean, 9 minutes in, Ruan Pienaar on the line, that was like, okay, now this is serious. This is something else. And I was like, well, in my mind, the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oof, Tibs already. I know he's going to be saying, hey, Springbok, hey. No. We sorted. We still have Faf, who lost, by the way, over the weekend. He's not the same Sharks. Yeah, they were bad. But anyway, I don't like that conversation of Ruan Pienaar in the Springboks. No. but the Sharks themselves, particularly in the Sharks, the Sharks they play the game. Oh, yeah. And they bring the game to you. They obviously most of the matches where they lose, it's down to them just making those mistakes, those conceding penalties right by
in a kickable position.
Definitely, yes. And you can't do that if there's a Pienaar there who can literally just slot it wherever. And you can't do that when you want to, if you're playing against such teams. And even if it's not the Cheetahs, even if you're playing the Western Province, however, you know that they will have that one person who will come in, slot it, and you don't want to be doing that. And I know Kenneth van Vuuren at some points there, he also had They created a couple of tries there, and it was fouls rather, and it was sort of like their own doing that let them down. And you can't do that if you're playing against a team like who have people like the experience
and also the explosiveness on the wing.
Exactly, and you can't do that,
No, but I also have to give the Sharks props for making that comeback because they were
Yeah.
28-12
Yeah.
down at halftime.
Yeah.
And they decided, hey, you know what? We're going to make a comeback. But I think a bigger discussion is because the Cheetahs are not in the Pro 14 or 16, sorry, the Pro 16.
14, 16.
Yeah,
what?
so it's the Sharks, it's the Bulls, it's the Stormers, it's the Lions.
Yes.
So the Cheetahs are always the odd one out, eh? And I feel like it's a sad situation to be because they were kicked out of Super Rugby and they're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We don't need you no more.
Yep.
We're going to bring in some Japan team. And, then they said, you know what? Forget you guys. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go and play in Europe. And we're going to show you guys what's up. And they're the ones that took the chance to go and have this European experience.
Yeah.
And then as soon as then all the other New Zealand and Australian teams are like, South Africa, actually, you know what?
We're good.
We had it. We okay.
Jesus.
What do? We're like, no, we're going to take the Cheetahs opportunity from them. They created the opportunity and we're like, that's a great opportunity, but not for you.
For the others.
For the others.
However, look, let's be honest. When the Cheetahs and the EP Kings went to the Pro Rugby, they were not the greatest. They were not competing. They were literally week in, week out, delivering points for the other teams. And
especially the Kings.
Especially the Kings, but also even with the Cheetahs too.
Yeah, even at the Cheetahs.
Even with the Cheetahs too, I think maybe most of their victories will come against the Kings.
Yeah,
you know,
majority,
and you don't want that. There's a lot of teams that you can play for. You can go up against. I think there's a Zebra there. There's a yes, you can just try and do. Well, they can't compete against the Irish sides. You know, they can't go to a certain extent. And for South African rugby to have a representative that goes there, or to have representatives that go there to just deliver points, spend all their money, get the funding from SA Rugby and other people and other entities backing them. Go in Europe and then you play there and then you don't win. Even if you lose by 10 points, it's still a defeat. You come back and say, hey son, we tried, but still every week, it was a tough game, but look man, it was a tough game, but hey look, I think the boys did well, we tried, we played against the quality side. It is the same thing every week. Chief. So that's my thing, that yes, they're playing well. Domestically, they're doing well. And I think they won the other Curry Cup before the lockdown or whatever. And that works well for them. They have to stick there and they have to build this franchise now for us to trust them. Maybe in the future we might see maybe a Lions pulling out, maybe not doing well enough. But now it also comes down to the financial power and the history of the clubs and franchises and how much the franchise is willing to back their side. So I don't think the Cheetahs can replace any team if they were to look at who they can replace there. As much as they can beat the Sharks, but they can't replace the Sharks because the Sharks now, they are,
a brand.
Exactly.
Rock Nation.
You don't say that. You just put it up there.
But no, and I think that's also goes to our discussion of how these other franchises are bigger brands than the Cheetahs. Like obviously the Cheetahs are very big in schoolboy rugby.
Yeah.
Like them and the Lions usually end up winning the SA schools tournaments, and their schools are very well known. But I think it shows the power of actually a brand identity because it's financially better to go with some of the other franchises.
Yes.
Like everyone knows the Blue Bulls as the franchise.
Yeah.
So it creates a debate also of what are the Cheetahs doing, because they're very good at grassroots level, but what are they doing at the top level in order to be able to get these opportunities? And I think that's where maybe they have lacked, because I think on the field, to bring back Ruben Pino and Francois Steyners did a masterstroke. To make Roscoe Spechman, who was in Western Province or Bulls. I think it's the Bulls.
Yeah.
To bring him from the sevens and in the Bulls, he wasn't doing he was there, but he was only starting mainly in the Curry Cup. I don't remember him really doing much in the Super
he wasn't
Rugby.
as effective as he is right now.
So the coaching and the structures there, it's the top level management that's the issue. And I think that's something that the Cheetahs have to consider, because they keep not making themselves indispensable to SA Rugby.
Well,
at
actually,
the moment.
that's a good point, because if you're speaking top management, then there's something going on there with Marais and Western Province. Maybe we never know. What else do we have, buddy?
Well, we have Sbu. I'm disappointed in you, actually, guys. Last time I was a big man and admitted when I was wrong. I think it's time for Sbu to be a big man and admit when he was wrong. So Sbu, I give the floor to you, fam.
I was right. I was right. But I was right in the wrong way. I was right in the wrong way. Leblanc and what the Roses.
The England, yeah.
And the Roses, yes, France and England playing at Twickenham. England really deserve. Well, literally, we're looking at the match as a way to bounce back and say, look, we are still in this thing. We are the current champions of Six Nations. And as much as prior to going to the match, I did not see France losing to England, even if it's by points, but I did not see it happening because they're playing some fluid rugby. They have some exciting. My problem is pronouncing the names, but the number 8 there. Who,
and Dupont, fam, that first try.
Definitely. In fact, that match from the first minute, it was fireworks. It was fireworks. And I saw something that I haven't seen from England this year or this season of the Six Nations. In the first half, yes, they were down, but they were winning their ruck so well. Phases pushed up to 17, going, and if a team could go from their own 22 and playing the ball and being played from their own ruck, and then they're winning it, and then they're going forward, they're proceeding over the 50 on their next 22, then you can tell that something is going to happen here. And the French defense looked a bit bleh, at that time. And I thought maybe just like, okay, maybe the guys just want to make a strong statement, they might sit back, and then, France will come in. But yeah, England were there, and it was a different side. And I know I saw a few people obviously comparing this performance of them, like the one that they had in the semi-finals against the New Zealand in the World Cup. And no, that one was massive. This one was it could have been like that one. It's just that they were obviously up against a team that is high in confidence. They also want to win. I feel like New Zealand at that time sort of like undermined England. Underestimated England. So it wasn't as massive as that one. But
No, and also, we want to give props to England, but I think it also needs to be noted, because this is what happened, we discussed it in last week's episode, of that 6 of the 8 France forwards that played that game tested 3 weeks ago with COVID. So I think that can also be an explanation for the drop-off, because in the first half, as much as England were dominant, and they territorially and possession-wise, and as you said, at the rucks and phases, France was still holding them off. It was also it was more in the last 20 minutes where the France just never had the legs to support it. Because in the second half, I don't think I saw France attack once. For me, and that's something that I haven't seen from France the entire Six Nations. So I do have to think that is a plug point to think about. But I will say that Eddie Jones finally got his England team
seems like he's
on a better track.
Yeah.
Maybe not the same track they were last time, but there seems to be Owen Farrell decided, you know what? I am Owen Farrell, actually.
Yes,
and he's like, I'm the bomb.com. And he decided to be the bomb.com. So for me, I have to give that of the England players, even Anthony Watson on the wing.
Watson was fantastic.
And that's why I said of individual players that you have not seen. Like, you couldn't name anyone that's done well so far. They decided, hey fam, Twickenham, no fans.
Still at home though.
We can rock this. We can rock this.
Yeah, but you know what? I think also from the French side, they really should feel disappointed at the fact that they could have won that game. And I think the England's first half performance sort of like put them off for the rest of the game. Because the power, they were overpowering them. They were coming into them. They were literally just winning every sort of green pitch or every green area on the grass, and they were there. And the French, you saying they held the English off, but I think at some point the French were like, there were a lot of like line breaks, a lot of them made by the Atkinson, Watson. Even Owen Farrell at some point, he looked like the beast that we know him to be. Besides being a cheat, but I'm just saying that the other piece of him playing proper. And I think I feel like France can take a lot from this game.
Oh, definitely.
And they can set themselves up when they face other stiff competitions. Maybe, I'm not sure if they played Ireland yet.
No, they're going to play Wales.
They're going to play Wales. They're playing Wales. So when they're going to be playing Wales, so they have to make sure that they fix their lines, because now you cannot allow someone to just break into you guys, and you have your solid 8, your 7, and your apparently your 15 is supposed to also be doing work, but at some point he looked a bit gingerly, and it was questionable as to can they maintain until the 80th minute, which they obviously couldn't. And it leaves them a lot of room to improve. But I'm still sticking to this front side to lift the Six Nations. I'm still there.
Yeah.
Until they lose the next game, I'm like, and I'm allowed to change. This is not South Africa. I'm allowed to change.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Speaking of that game, because I believe there was a controversial try in the 75th minute,
yes.
and I feel like it would be remiss of me to not say this because people in my DMs were out there telling me you better discuss this game and you better say Otoji, the Twickenham curse was like, now we're in Twickenham, we're gonna give this a try because the ref called no try.
Yes.
Then they went to the TMO. Now me as a fan, a person who doesn't want Sbu to be right, I can honestly think I did not see Otoji with the ball over the line without a hand underneath. I thought it was held up. I genuinely thought it was held up.
I also thought so. I thought so too.
Yeah.
However,
there's no however.
No, my however comes to the referee because now the Oak even went down and he went down and looked closely and like, no, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. And he sent it upstairs. However, now the thing is those are one of those very unfortunate situations. Only to find out maybe the ball, because I still think I'm 50% because I think like at some points it did touch and then maybe the tip of the ball at the top could have maybe quickly touched and then was brought back to on A and then unfortunately then I saw their hand, but a part of me feels like it did touch. However, now it's difficult if a decision like that you'd give it. Yeah, because we are in a position like the teams will lose championships and trophies and everything if decisions like that are given and everyone is uncertain about it because no camera angle was able to see what's going on. And by the end of the moment, you get to see that maybe there was a hand. But what was going on prior to it? Did it take a twist, a turn? Did it maybe on its top or on the sides? You see, there's a lot of things, a lot of discussions around it, and it's a bit unfortunate if you give it if you're not certain about it.
I love that you mentioned that because if you follow us on the Changeroom ZA, our boy Sbu here and our producer were having a young discussion over the Chiefs. Oh no, I'm sorry. The
Crusaders and Chiefs, yeah.
Crusaders versus the Chiefs.
Yeah.
If you want to watch a try of tries, our producer calls it the best try he has seen in rugby.
Absolute rubbish.
So far.
Rubbish.
Now, you remember his comments now about this TMO 50-50. I feel like it could be.
Because we couldn't tell. But that one I saw it.
He says now, I think he needs glasses. 4 eyes, this man needs. But if you're going to watch a try with a debatable... So tell us, Sbu, why do you think it was not a try? It was, for me, one of the greatest tries ever. But yeah.
Look, that is not a try. Clearly. What's his name? Anoku. I get the names wrong. It's quite difficult. Anoku or something. When D-Mac, Damon McKenzie, when Damon Mac got to him, the Oak was flying outside of the pitch, have all the ball in his hand inside, and yes, the ball hit the ground and everything. However, people are missing the fact that there was the foot did touch the ground, the outside. It did. And I'm surprised about the producer, if you saw the conversations on Changeroom ZA on Instagram, he said that I'm confusing the touch on the ground with the boot. How can I confuse that? This thing is here. It's here. This is the boot. And then the argument was if it did, then he could have broke his ankle. No, it did not. It literally touched. It did not land. Unless the rules say you can touch the outside and then score a try, then maybe then I rest my case.
For me, because I wasn't involved in this conversation, but from what I saw and my honest opinion, I genuinely thought it was a try. Because it was very...
the greatest try ever, like your producer.
Oh yes, the greatest try ever. No, because he signs my check, so I have to agree with him. but in all honesty...
my rent.
But in all honesty, if you see the try, it's like you said, he's in mid-air, and then he's about to dot the ball down. And yes, I can see what you're saying. But then, like, he's got a scoop, right? He knows how to scoop his leg up. And then, because I genuinely, guys, in the comments below, please go watch this try. Then we can debate. He scooped, you know the scoop. He's like, hey, my leg's gonna, oh no, you know, like when you're about to get into the water, you're like, actually, no, this water's not for me.
But it did touch
it's that
the water.
No,
it did touch the water.
It's just that, hey fam, nah, not for me. So please, in the comments below,
That try,
let's discuss. Yeah?
Definitely, in the comments below, tell us about what you think.
Yeah.
However, if people label that try as the greatest try ever, I'm saying that is the most injustice tries I've ever seen. And people are just saying, that try was great. It defied the odds or defied science
gravity,
and
fam.
everything.
It defied
I'm like,
gravity.
yes, if that was a clean try, then it would have defied, then it would have been the greatest. But until then, I am yet to see a great try. I am yet to see a great try.
Hey, we can see now how buffoonery has spread. We've seen it now. It's spread to my co-host.
No, it has spread to your other side, the other side of your brain, not me. The other side of your brain, from your left to your right.
But yeah, so to change topic, we're back to local soccer. A huge announcement. Dr. Patrice Motsepe, he has been named the president of the CAF Corporation, and his objective is to protect African football on a global scale.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the appointments?
I made notes of some of the things he's spoken about prior while he was running for
office.
Running for office, and he obviously he called them the 10-point plan action, but didn't take all. I'm not going to talk about all 10 of them. I think the most important one or the most probing ones are, firstly, obviously we want to see a fairly ran organization. No, like you've seen over the years, especially for Southern African teams, they suffer the injustice of CAF and some of the things with fixtures not being allowed to move and everything. However, over and above that, there's a situation of prize money in the African Cup of Nations. He spoke about that, the development of women's football. That's one of the things. And he also made priority of having football in Africa, obviously, and attracting partners and sponsorships and creating a good relationship with FIFA. And obviously now that is a tick because he already had the backing of FIFA prior to during the campaign and everything. So those are some of the things that I think he has identified, which were sort of like easy to identify. I mean, the problems at CAF were everywhere and for everyone to see, and it was quite easy. And I'm happy that he came in and identified them and said, listen, we have a problem of this, and we have a problem of broadcasting, of having to pay
the broadcasting rights for the
overseas, and now and then for how do you pay an overseas company to feed you your own thing?
Yeah, to feed you your own product.
Your own product. You know, like it's a problem. And he's aiming to do that. And I like the fact that he obviously looks into the infrastructure of football in Africa and the women's part. I mean, we want to see our women in Africa not only going to the World Cup, because eventually you will have a few teams going to the World Cup because that's the qualifying process. But now don't only go there to just go there and compete and be one of the best. You know, we have in South Africa here on our own banana players are all over the world. They sort of like almost every week they're signing with overseas teams and they playing well, they're scoring goals. And when it comes to to Banyana having to go further, yes, they do go to the World Cups, qualify and play, but they getting out of the group stage is a bit tricky.
It's tricky, yeah.
And we understand it because obviously now we have to align ourselves with the rest of the world and how they're playing, and the infrastructure is not as big or great as theirs. And he has identified a lot of those problems, and he has come in, and I'm happy that the other two guys just decided, like, you know what, dude, this is
you, fam. This is
your
man.
one horse race. Run it, win it. Don't be like Kaiser Chiefs and lose a one horse race like you once said. Lose a one horse race like you said. So it was quite evident, and him being a business-minded person, it becomes easier. We trust him and to say, look, okay, this guy understands business, money, and how it's supposed to go and how it's supposed to be used in football. We trust him, and he will do the right things.
Yeah, no, and I agree upon that, because you've seen how he's the amount of money he's even invested in Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yes.
It shows that he's not even just a businessman trying to like it's like to buy a soccer club.
Yeah.
It's a businessman that wants a soccer club to become
succeed.
The best thing since sliced bread. And Sundowns and Sundowns has been a dominant force not only in South African football but also in African continent. And I think the fact that he's now wanting to grow that soccer, his passion and love for soccer to such an extent that he now wants to take it, like you've said, with all your points, towards the African nation. I think it shows exactly that's what people need to do, like we spoke about last week about Beast, creating a foundation in order to help the emerging people.
Yeah.
We need those people in power to actually want and use their connections and everything that they've brought to the sport that they love in order for it to grow and prosper as as an entity, because we can't rely only on government funding or funding from a form of football body. It's just not strong enough. We don't have, if you want to compete with women's football, you don't have the infrastructure that the English and the French football teams and the US football teams have, because they've got money. They've got
sponsors,
we can't compete with our small budget. We do need to get, like you said, exposure. We need his business connections in order to get sponsorship.
Yes.
We do need to monetize African football.
Yes.
Why was Mane not a part of a Senegalese team before he was signed to somewhere else? Why did he have to go? Why do all the players end up going to France, going to Europe? Why is that not that African football? Because Zamalek, all of these teams, Casablanca, they've all been doing really well, but you're not hearing about, their top striker is going to move to another club.
It's difficult,
And it is, I think, because it's hard for people, if you're going to bring international people to film, they're not seeing the monetary value.
Definitely.
So we have to make our product better, because I think the quality and the talent is there, but the fact that majority of them are playing in Europe, that shows that the talent is there. But I think that this is a step in the right direction.
Tips.
And I really support that decision.
He said something very, very interesting. He said, I cannot be CAF president, pardon me, and Bafana is not doing well. So
Bafana,
yes,
you know what must happen.
You know what must happen.
You must know what's going to be.
Yes, definitely.
But speaking of Bafana, where they choose their players from, the DSV Premiership, or some of them, we had. And I hate doing this, but I really do, guys. But it's not. It's
but
not
it's them, Chief. It's them.
It's them. It's you. It's not
you.
us.
It's not us.
It's not us, but Marisburg College. Keep calling them Marisburg College.
Marisburg United.
Marisburg United versus Kaiser Chiefs. Now, to explain this game, it was 1-1.
Yeah.
Marisburg United are in the relegation zone. Straight up.
Fighting relegation.
They have played 18 games, got 14 points. They shouldn't be there. Based on this game, because they utterly destroyed Kaiser Chiefs.
Did I not tell you? Did I not say that if Marisburg United or Ernst Middendorf's Marisburg United, if they can play Kaiser Chiefs for the next 7 games, they'll get out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, so
because I mean, look, Marisburg United led the majority of the game, 1-0, went on. And it goes back.
Open goal.
I hate being right and having to remind people that I'm right. Samuel Kutumela can only do so much.
Yeah.
He cannot score and defend at the same time. He must keep concentration. And they lost the game at the very crucial parts of the game. The final 10 minutes. That's when you need to switch up. You cannot lead. Rather concede in the 45th minutes just after halftime and just play to a 1-0 draw and then that's it. Because now you're already playing this whole game. 80 minutes of running. And in your mind, and some players are like, okay, good. This will be a huge boost for us. We are beating Kaiser Chiefs. We are there, and then you're gonna let slip of a lead such that is so fragile, right at the death. I know, man.
Yeah, and that's what I said, because I know that for Marisburg United, that their next 2 games are against their relegation rivals. I know one of them is cheap, but the next 3 of their next 4, they're facing teams 3 points above them. Yeah. So they can get out of it, because the way they actually played football. Kaiser Chiefs could not hold on to the ball for rocks. They were doing, I told you about that Marco Polo. They were literally, exactly, we hate being right. But they were literally closing their eyes and being like, I'm not going to pass to anybody. Oh no, screens are like, sharp, I'm going to pass to them. That's the only way that they could commit. I can say Mignana was the only player that actually tried. In the second half, Gavin Hunt tried to make him, gave him more space to operate.
Immobile,
But the rest of the team, I can't say anything positive. I really hope that you guys can make top 8 so you can qualify for the MTN 8.
Yeah, man.
But that's pretty much it, and hope you do well in CAF. That's pretty much it.
But remember what I said. I said for Kaiser Chiefs for the rest of the season, a point for them is victory.
Point for them is
because of the reason that I've stated before. Because I think the whole slump of them, it's beyond tactical. It's not. I don't think Kevin Hunt is that much of a failure for him to not being able to do stuff like that. He has players that are dealing with a lot mentally of how they lost the league. That is my point. You can tell me if I'm wrong or right, but it's beyond that. And they're playing against. It's very dangerous to play against a relegation team
because they have nothing to lose.
They throw everything forward, and then when they lose, like another game you lost, another game you lost. It's very difficult because they always want to bring their A game. They're fighting for survival. It's very difficult, and it's going to be tricky. Unfortunately, for my speaking, it's going to be tricky. You playing against your relegation candidates or candidates of relegation, and they also want to get one over because a victory for them moves them a spot up higher or moves them just away from the relegation zone, and it's going to be tricky for them. But they can take a lot of things, good positive things. Between the first and the 80th minute, they played really well. They organized themselves well. Yes, they let Kaizer Chiefs a few spaces here and there, but they were compact. They were able to play, and they were able to score a goal and be able to maintain for the 80 minutes. If they can take that performance prior to them conceding and translate it to other games, they will survive if they do something like that. You know, you remember that you obviously you are playing for survival. You don't play. You don't go there to play beautiful football. You don't go and try and play some total football and try and offside traps and try to be fancy. Zonal marking. Oh, you wanna? Oh, yes. You don't do that. Even if it means you come in, compose pressure, road one, go there, hit it. Kudumela will do the rest. That should be your strategy. That's not what you should do. You should be doing. It's gonna be tricky when they play against the Cheetah United side. The Cheetah is playing really well. Beautiful players.
Playing football. And I'm like, and as I said, those are going to be some really good games. Like I think the relegation battle is the most interesting battle to be because the teams at the bottom are the teams that are surprisingly trying to play the best football, which doesn't make sense. But they're not getting the results. But I think that'll be a very interesting, entertaining game to watch. But a team that was in a relegation battle, but is flying high, sailing in the top 8, Sbu Zulu, defeating Chippa, our boys, local boys, Benny McCarthy. I can't say anything but except well done. Carry on pushing. But because he's undefeated away from home, I think that and I think this is what good coaching does do because it's the same players, but different
person at the helm.
And I'm happy for our boys coming back from being relegated to now being strong. Powerful stuff. Man.
Definitely. And also a quick shout out to Golden Arrows too, sitting secondly at the top. But obviously, I'm saying second right now. We'll never know what's going to happen because, this thing is a weekly podcast, ne? So there's a lot of things that happen in the space of a week. But as we are speaking right now, they're second. But it's going to be great. So, it should be an exciting couple of weeks.
So we've gone from the African continent. Let's head a plane and a visa to the UEFA Champions League. So the UEFA Champions League, it's been not a surprising journey, but it's been a journey nevertheless. PSG versus Barcelona. I think we said it last time. I just want to give a special shout out to Lionel Messi, who has got the most appearances in a Barcelona t-shirt, and as the first player ever to score 20 goals in 13 consecutive seasons.
That is massive, bro.
I mean, that's a career, fam. That is a career.
Massive.
It's everyone says they need a 20 goal striker, and he doesn't even play striker always.
Dude, do you understand? Our highest top goal scorer in South Africa has 31 goals, and he's retired. He's a coach now, Benny McCarthy. 31 goals. It took him a lot of games.
Total.
Yes. Top, And Messi is scoring 20 goals every season for 13 years. 13 in a row. Yeah, no, that's too much.
But Barcelona did get knocked out by PSG.
Could
Expected Barcelona just focus on trying to get the La Liga.
And they did well.
And they did well.
Over the weekend.
They're second. Yeah. 4 points behind Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
So it's going to be a good title race, but there are some great teams playing in the Champions League. For the quarterfinals, Man City are playing Borussia Mönchengladbach. See, my German is not there for me.
Playing Borussia,
And then your boys.
The boys in blue have a 1-0 lead over Atletico Madrid. It's going to be tricky going to Stamford Bridge, or you're going to be having a neutral venue again.
I think it's a neutral venue again.
Possibly, but obviously that will be Chelsea's home game because that was and they have a one away goal lead. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
we should see how that would happen. We're going to talk about it.
Don't worry, we'll be here next week to talk about it.
I'm absent.
But the English Premier League, since we're in London for your team, the North London derby.
Yeah, ne?
Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur.
Rapona, chief.
That goal, I want if you ever again, this week was the week for like goals and tries, bruh. Go watch Eric Lamella's goal in that game.
Versus Arsenal, because if you go and say Eric Lamela, it will show you that other Rapona that he scored years ago in the Champions League or in the Europa. And he did it from the outside of the box, by the way, the other one.
Yeah.
Rapona, so, and then Yasis, ne?
But yeah, Eric Lamela, he lived the Batman saying, fam, you either die a hero or you live long enough for you to see yourself become the villain. Because after scoring a goal, he decides, Hade, fam, I'm going to come off the bench. I wasn't starting, come off the bench, 15 minutes.
I'm done.
I'll score a wonder goal.
Ref, I'm good.
Then you're like, yo, ref, actually, it's been tough. So can you send me off, fam? That bench is comfortable. It's cold out here. And he got sent off. And like he was on the pitch for like one half. Like he was literally on the pitch for one half. He's like, coach told me I was on the bench, but put me back on the bench.
You don't want, okay, fine, I'll do this and I'll do that. Give it to me. But what a performance by Arsenal, eh? And I think
outplayed Tottenham.
Yeah, man, it's a Mikel Arteta situation. You know, you the one time you don't give him a chance, he would surprise you.
Yeah.
You know, like how he would he doesn't really struggle a lot against a Man City side. So you know when you don't give him a chance, he gives you something. And you know, a good win, 2-1 win over Spurs. I mean, it's a huge boost for Arsenal. They're also trying to get into that Europe spot and a dent for Spurs because now top four. Yeah, the race now is the top four race is massive, bro. Like from second to seventh. Or
I think Man United are 9 points ahead of West Ham.
Exactly.
Fifth and they're second. Yeah, I think Chelsea it's 5 points. Yeah,
exactly. So it's a huge thing, and it's as much as my thing is these games. Yes, they matter for the fans. But Tottenham can lose this one, win the next 3, you forget about this one.
Oh, 110%. You know, for Arsenal,
big games, I know.
Yeah, for Arsenal, they needed it, because Arsenal aren't really competing for much in the league.
Are they competing?
They can maybe make Europa League, but they're not in the top 4 race.
But West Ham is still here. Gave you a tough run.
Oh no, West Ham, no, against Man United. Yeah. Man United had to get an own goal again. Our penalty, our default setting of 1-0 Bruno Fernandes penalty wasn't a thing. But West Ham are a genuine team competing for the top 4. But speaking of West Ham or having West Ham assets because of fantasy football this week. Because West Ham are one of 8 teams that are actually playing this game week, which is making it very hard for people to have teams to put out because everyone's stuck playing in the FA Cup. So all the teams playing in the FA Cup aren't playing Premier League football this weekend. So
problems.
Problems. I only have 8 players currently out at the moment. But Song could be injured, so I'm sitting on 7 at the moment because Song got off in the Spurs game injured. That's why Lamela came on and then came off again. But so then it's a bit shaky. But this past game week was the Pep Roulette game week because Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, Ilkay Gundogan all never played. Not even got in the field, and it was a dumb statistic that all the top 3 captain picks of De Bruyne, Fernandes, and Salah either never played or didn't do anything, and they were captained by over 50% of the game. Those 3 players, those 3 players were captained by over 50% of the game. That's over 4 million people.
Yes,
and everyone was like, "Suck it, not gonna happen." So it was a very tough week for fantasy managers. I made average. And that's only because I had Cancelo that got a clean sheet.
Well, because of that,
yeah. Because I had Cancelo that got an assist and a clean sheet. All of my strikers never scored, and life was tough for the boy. But
your chips?
My chips. My chip strategy. Because also people are saying I'm a free hit. I don't have it. I used it, and I used it pretty well because But I only have one more chip being my wild card, and I plan on using it on Game Week 31 because that's when the fixtures change, because there's still teams that have to rearrange their fixtures. So I want to cash in on their double game weeks. So that's the plan.
I will be
forward.
here for that.
Yeah, hey, we'll see how it goes.
I will be here for that. I will make sure I'm here for that. I want to see how that goes. Because I know the wild cards, a lot of people wild cards, I think they've started last week with their wild cards. So it's obviously towards the business end, and that's when you want to have that massive boost. And
pick players that have that things to play for. Like you don't want to pick an Arsenal sometimes. They're focusing on Europe.
Definitely.
You want to fix the relegation teams, the teams competing for Champions League. You want to have those teams because they're going to fight for your points.
Yeah, that's it.
A team fighting for points or victories, even the Momentum Proteas. They are doing us proud. Even Graham Smith, head of cricket, had a whole statement being like, it's very hard for South African teams to travel to the subcontinent, but it's also even harder for them to win. And that's exactly what they do. They have an unassailable 3-1 victory. They are actually playing with fire, bro.
Great aplomb, and it's been an exceptional watch for most of us. And you know, you have to wake up early on the weekends to watch some of these games, and it's a pleasure to watch. I've been very much excited to see how the Momentum Proteas are doing in like you said, in India. And obviously playing India in India, it's not easy. And they're making it seem like it's just another you sipping water.
Yeah,
you know?
It's easy as that.
It's easy as
1, 2, 3.
And the crazy thing about it is that they haven't been playing much prior. Right to this, they haven't been playing much, and I remember Sunay Lewis speaking and said it's important for them to play as many matches as they can because it gets the momentum going, it gets them going, it keeps everybody on their edge of the seat, and everybody is just ready to play. And I know on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, when they were playing the lefty, Nonkulumla wasn't playing. However, they still went on to be victorious, and it's just great to see such. I mean, I think we can sit here and analyze how they go about and how their balance is. But the thing is, like, everyone is playing well. Yeah, and everyone is they're just great. Shubman Ismail, top 3 ODI bowler in the world. And obviously I will have some news later about Lizzo Lee. And it's just a highlight to show how flipping fantastic these ladies are. And Laura Fulvart's also putting in
the opening
chipping in.
Keeps making runs.
She keeps making
for years. For years she's been scoring runs.
Imagine in the last match, I'm not sure if it was the third one. I think we had India had a batsman scoring over 100 runs, and the chase was quite simple: get to 50s and work. We had 3 players on 50 plus runs, and chipping, and some of them were chipping with their 20s and 30s. It was sufficient. It was an all-round great performance, and from the opener to the 6th batsman, and everyone is just. It's just seamless and it's just flawless. It's just beautiful, man.
And I'm like, and it's a thing that I've always been saying about the issues I have with the men's team is that it's never that. It's cool. AP de Villiers, Hashim Amla, Jacques Callis, they're gonna score 100, 200. Everyone else will chip in with a 20 and a 30. It's not a team performance, and I think that they have really got a good balance of everybody in that team. Knows their job, and each and every week they might not play to that consistency throughout every game, but over a series, everybody from 1 to 11 would have done something that contributed to the team's victory, which is not something that you can say a lot for all of the men's teams.
Let's not talk about those guys.
I don't want to talk about those guys. So we want to say that we are proud of you girls.
Definitely.
Bring us home. Bring it home.
Yeah.
Like if COVID wasn't a thing, I'd be at the airport. Yeah, I support you guys.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice, actually.
I think that would, those are one of the fan moments that you really miss out on.
Definitely.
But so there's local cricket going on at the moment.
Yes, there is that. And
the 4-day.
4-day franchise series. And how are the Dolphins?
The Dolphins are the only team that won last year.
And how I mean, you talk about the Dolphins and everything is exciting, but Keshav Maharaj, bro.
Bruh, he's the best.
13
wickets.
13 wickets.
Imagine. That's nearly.
Buffett.
You got the whole team out once and then decided, wait, there's more.
That was absolutely fantastic. That was I keep on forgetting because I had a lot of players in my mind that were fantastic, but obviously Keshav stands out. I mean, 13, I think from 170 something runs, but doesn't matter the runs, but you got there and they were playing against the Lions, a team they've been playing for the past for like, this is the third month of the year, so they played them sort of like in 2 months. Played them in crucial matches, the T20s and the MOTC, and they've been beating the Lions, and they just lost to them when it matters the most in the T20 final. But it was fantastic to see, and you know that there's something at the Dolphins happening. I don't know how we can translate that to the Proteas. I mean, these guys.
I think it's a sense. Because it's the same team. It's also like
it doesn't change much.
It doesn't change much. Like they might change a bowler or two here, but otherwise, like the batting lineup's pretty sorted. Like you know who's gonna come through, and I think and this is a team that's been building for the past 2 seasons. Like there's very few people you've seen coming in and out. Maybe the odd bowler here or there, like Mangrove. I haven't.
Kevin Mangrove, Kevin Mangrove, Serenen, and
so these are probably the new-ish bowlers, but otherwise they pretty much keep the same formula. And I think that it goes to show for all sports teams is that consistency. If you start playing a player and being like you're going to be a bowler, you need to get this many wickets. You need to be bowling at 140. Learn like if you tell them that's your job, and then
stick to it.
You do it for 3 years. The homie's gonna be like, cool, that's my job for the game.
Plus, also the Dolphins bought well. They bought well across the formats. They bought in players that are really good, and they were decent, but they've gotten a chance where they're playing now. I was watching a few day or two ago. I was watching Okuhle former Dolphins, you know, taking wickets against I think they were playing against the Titans. Yes. Playing against the Titans, took a couple. You know, it's exciting to see such that. And you can tell that the DNA of this cricket here in the province, it's doing well.
Very strong,
And, you know, we what's this team? I know that the KZN, I'm not sure which team it was, when they play against the bowler and they bowled everybody out for like what, 16 or something.
Oh yes, I think it is KZN Coastal.
I think it was Coastal. They play against bowler.
I think it is KZN Coastal. Yes, I remember.
So you see that there's even the Dolphins have a nice pool of players to pick from moving forward. So even if maybe a Keshav can decide to call it a day, they can bring in someone who they'll take time to build with. Plus, over the years, we haven't seen much of the Dolphins because of rain.
True. The Durban rain has been
a problem.
Durban has been a huge problem.
And when they travel, they play. Maybe they won't win by big margins, but they do something, and then you're like, who are these guys now? You know, but man, they're doing really well.
That's actually very cool. So like, we're gonna give a shout out to the Dolphins because they're currently playing at the moment now. So we will bring you analysis on how their game works now.
Definitely.
So like in other news, Mamelodi Sundowns, they made the Nedbank Cup quarterfinal. After a successful victory, and they set up a game against Orlando Pirates. It's going to be
Didn't you have an intro for that? Plan for that? Pirates, Sundowns. I thought you were going to say something like Diamond, this, because you always go very
go very big, you know. Yeah, I'll save it for when we do the analysis of it. I'm going to go the underdog story. The story of taking down the global Thanos giant.
Pirates being the underdogs?
Yes. Against a Thanos Patrice Motsepe diamond collecting. You wasting. I told you.
I feel you.
I've got you. Don't worry.
Yeah, in other news, so basically this is other news perhaps you may have missed or did not know about. Jaco Prinsloo won the Players' Championship over the weekend. He won in a three-way playoff. It was him. It was forgot the guy's name. It was Jaco Prinsloo. It was I forgot the other two players.
I went like but
they're playing in Denfam, obviously in Joburg, and he won in the third hole of the Players' Championship over the weekend. In tennis, Daniel Medvedev becomes the first player outside of Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, and Murray to be ranked second in the world rankings.
Yeah, bro.
And earlier on, I spoke about, I mentioned Lizelle Lee. Lizelle Lee jumped 7 places in the rankings of the ODI to become the number 1 batsman in the ODI rankings. Fantastic. And do you remember Masibusa Nezongo?
No.
Masibusa Nezongo, he was a troublesome boy, tricky boy, always got into the pitch. He played for a lot of teams, cheaper. He was troublesome and he always did tricks and like not those tricks like you see people going forward. He will stand with the ball and what now people call kasi showboating because that's how the term became now. Or came in South Africa, showboating. So Masibusa Nezongo is signed with Bizana Pondo Chiefs, and so that's not the interesting part only. So I read a comment on Facebook because he was a troublesome boy. You remember like your Chabupule back in the days? So this one guy says that tavern owners in Bizana are smiling from ear to ear. That's what I'm gonna say. I thought it was funny to share, but that was somebody
who does the jokes on the show.
I don't have jokes. I don't have jokes. I did say I saw a comment on Facebook.
That's a great segue. It's my favorite. It's my favorite part of my favorite part of the show where we do our MVP. Yes. So our MVP is the most valuable player of any sport that was played. Even if you haven't discussed it, in the comments, have a discussion. Who was your MVP of the week? Obviously, for me, it's the guy that needs to go into the Springbok team, Ruan Pienaar. He out here carried the first half for the Chiefs, which helped them lead 28-12 at halftime. Who was your MVP player?
My MVP, like I already mentioned, Lizelle Lee for definitely the feat, and obviously she's been playing well for the Proteas, and also Keshav Maharaj, I think, also deserves a bit of mention. That has been fantastic. You can't just take 13 in one series, Nyana, and just go under carpets like you can't. But those are my most valuable players for this week.
Yeah. So then the team of the week is for everybody. Who is your favorite team?
Who is mine?
Of the week? What sports team was your favorite? My one has to be the return of my boys, Ireland, defeating Scotland in the Six Nations. They haven't given up. They see my vision. Ireland beat Scotland 27-24, bringing themselves back into the race for the Six Nations. Go the Irish. I don't know. Luck of the Irish. Luck of the Irish. That's my Irish accent.
Wow. Don't even try. No. It's another rugby story, basically, of a team being outscored when it comes to tries, but using most of their kicking opportunities. So, well done, Ireland. But my team of the weekend, I don't go around and try there. I definitely Momentum Proteas. They've been doing well. They are, obviously, this week they'll be wrapping up the series, however it goes. I know Lizelle Lee said that they want to finish on their high, regardless of whether they have an unassailable lead. So, it's been great. I've been enjoying watching those. That parts of the series or that particular sport, and also Jaco Prince-Leeuw, man. I think having to play in a 3-way playoff with 2 other players, which I forgot. I'm trying to remember, but I forgot. But it's fine.
I know Brendan Grace. That's about as
no. He wasn't there. He wasn't there.
As much golf as Tibs knows. So
he wasn't there.
I thought I'd give it a chance.
Yeah, but it was but definitely I think salute us to those guys, and
so then your predictions?
Yes, we have fixtures to look forward to this weekend.
Come on down. I just want to start us off with the derby of derbies.
Yes,
it is the Battle of Soweto.
Don't waste time because you all both know we're going with Pirates.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. So there's local football happening.
Want me to win.
Before that, I mean, come on, obviously. I mean, we Pirates fans. Are you gonna say Chiefs?
No.
After playing like that against Maritzburg United?
No.
Come on. We don't waste time here. So Stellenbosch FC and SuperSport United on Friday, the 19th, Friday evening. Stellenbosch hosting SuperSport United. That's gonna be a tricky one also.
SuperSport are also in that race for that CAF qualification.
Yes.
So it's gonna be a good one.
And also Stellenbosch FC have had some sort of like resurgence lately, so it's going to be a tricky one. I'm actually seeing a draw here, so it should be exciting.
For me, I think SuperSport will win. I think
Take this one.
SuperSport will win.
All right, cool. And then we have Golden Arrows and Cape Town City.
I'm going to go home. Golden Arrows, fam.
They've been good.
They're going to carry on, keeping on.
They've been good, and obviously playing against City. City also shaky.
Shaky a bit,
and Champions League, Chelsea and Atletico. Yeah.
I'll go 0-0, draw. But Chelsea go through.
Yeah. Then there's Bayern and Lazio.
Bayern, come on, let's not waste time.
Let's not waste time. That's what it is. I'm not even going to talk about Chelsea, bro. Like, I'm very scared, Baba.
Don't be scared,
yeah,
bro.
Don't
be scared. I'm also Man United are in the Man United are also in the Europa League.
We are not talking about Thursday night football.
0-0 against AC Milan. We'll see how the second leg goes.
Yep. Right, that's it.
Do you have anything else?
No, nothing much, basically. And just before we go, obviously this past week we learned of the passing of Ilembe. You have to say this properly, so I don't want to sound very disrespectful, but Inkosi Koteme, and rest in peace to the Zulu King. Well, I'm not gonna say the king of the nation, because the other people, they don't really agree with that. So inkosi yethu ozulu thina sithi nje ithiwani izotshalwa angithi. So he will obviously have some sort of like rise in his presence some way. And I hope we obviously do get to be led by a man who is as great as he did. And So that's the one part, and don't forget to follow us on our social media at the Changeroom ZA on Facebook and also on Instagram.
Thank you for listening to the Changeroom. My name is Tibs,
and I'm Sbu.
Goodbye.